We did it. We finally got the intro, but I want to know, what am I pointing at? What am I pointing at there?
Are you giving it some catalogue?
Yeah, I'm getting some catalogues there. I think probably the only one that kind of got back to back with Joe. But it's the debut, isn't it, of XG Extra?
XG Extra, yeah, and there's going to be an XG Trois, if you like, as well, which we will drop tomorrow. That will probably become a regular Saturday video. So after we've recorded this, we're literally going to hit end, and then we're going to hit record, and then we're going to do a singular topic, which tomorrow will be goalkeepers, because there is a little bit of breaking news, which I've got a video coming out on in a minute, but you can throw your 2p on it if you want. Sanderman, what's your thoughts?
Sanderman, it's obviously a young prospective keeper. I think this is always the type of market it was going to be in, because I don't think it was ever going to be a summer where United were going to fork out 40-50 million plus for a marquee keeper. As much as we needed one, I think United had way too many needs elsewhere that were probably even more prioritised. Even though I've seen a lot of the fan base say, if your goalkeeper's not solid or decent, it does put a significant cap on a team ceiling. As you've seen on the weekend, you can play as well as you can, but when you've got a goalkeeper that makes a slight error, one mistake, you're 1-0 down, and that's always a thing. I think it's the one position on the pitch in it where an error almost always leads to a goal, almost likely to, or an issue.
But I think people really over-egged how bad Onana was. I thought it was so far behind a number 9, but we got a number 9, and I still think it's behind a central midfielder. But I don't say it's not an issue, but I think people are impatient and entitled, and I think that there's a lot of people that are kicking off thinking that you can't be successful with Onana. You clearly can. Inter Milan got to a Champions League final with him, in a tough season with it as well. He's a competent goalkeeper. Is he the best in the world? No. Does he not have flaws? No, of course he has flaws. And we haven't seen probably what he was signed for, which is his ball playing ability, which I don't understand. But I think there is an issue that exists with him now, and if you can upgrade him, we should upgrade him. But getting all of that done in the one window, probably not going to happen.
So, do you agree with that statement? I think Umir, he's a guy that was on the Overlap with H, who's quite insightful. He did put a tweet out, which does kind of link to what we've just spoke about. Which, do you think there's no poor footballers in a top flight? Because he said there's no poor footballers in the top flight. There's just suboptimal environments for said player. But then I don't know if that's too much of a simplification, because then does that give excuses to the players that underperform or not good enough? Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot to unpack there.
As in, basically, it's just
there are no poor footballers.
No, as in the player.
No. By the nature of everyone who plays Premier League football is elite.
It sounds simplistic, but as in when players that are playing for big clubs or playing at the top of the game, which is the Premier League, are they terrible footballers or bad footballers, or are they just in environments that doesn't really get the best out of them?
No, mate. I think if Ashley Young came down to paddock training, we would think he was Ronaldinho reborn, at peak. Genuinely.
Yeah.
I think who's the worst player in the team right now? Who's the most untechnical player? Harry Maguire, right?
No.
Harry Maguire probably.
Ugarte.
No.
He's the least technical player.
Okay, Harry Maguire or Ugarte, pick whichever one you want. If they came down and trained with us, we would walk off our head in our hands at some of the stuff that they did. I guarantee it.
Yes.
I guarantee it. And we've got you was at an academy, the likes of Damani and T have just been released from academy within a couple of years. There's technical footballers at our level, but they would be so far in front of them. I mean, look at the best example I can ever give of this is Isaac trains with us every now and then, right? Isaac's been National League, he's currently at Macclesfield, which is Northern Prem, I think they're in at the moment. Isaac, to any Premier League fan watching, they would call him shit. Isaac is nowhere near shit. Isaac looks so sharp compared to you guys.
So what you're saying is when we're looking at the likes of Ugarte or Onana playing for United and saying they're rubbish, they're poor, we're obviously not saying they're actually rubbish. We're saying they're rubbish relative to the standard that they need to be at, or what they're playing at. That's
people do.
No, but it is. I think that's what we do as fans. We just obviously criticising them relative to the standard and the level that they're playing at.
Yeah.
We're not saying that they're Sunday League level.
I call Rasmus Højlund the worst striker I've seen at United. Does that not mean he would score 10 a game for us? So he's clearly a good striker, but for Manchester United, he's not.
Yeah, I do get, but with
let me go back to that quote. So the quote was about the environment. I would say you probably can pick any player in a squad, probably, and get a tune out of them to a greater or lesser degree. I don't think you can just put it all in the environment. Some people are more of a tactical fit.
Yes, that encompasses it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But as we said, with this keeper though, obviously Steve's going to speak more on it. We'll have to see, because with pressure and expectation as well, especially
about 3 o'clock that's coming out.
Do you know what I mean? When you're a goalkeeper, we'll have to see obviously if that does go through. But Romano has said that personal terms are almost agreed, and I think United have operated in a way when that is the case. It usually means our game, innit? It usually means it's going to happen.
And also, he ain't a big name. No one's dining out on linking San Lament to United.
Yes.
He ain't a big name in the slightest. He's a big fella. He ain't a big name.
Exactly. So we just got to hope that signing does happen, that he is a success. Because also, obviously, we've talked at length about midfield, but that is a different story for a different day. But one of the first things we are going to address anyway, because this is a Premier League preview, and it is about the huge showdowns in a week, and it's what will be doing.
There are some big games this week.
There are some huge games already.
Big game this week.
In game week 2, and I think there's a lot of storylines behind
United
them.
and Fulham. Who's going to come top 10? Big game this week.
And they're going to tell us. And what's interesting is the Fulham game has actually become a really big game, because United performed very admirably against Arsenal and played really well, and I think we deserve to get the result, to be honest with you. And what will happen now is we still lost the game, and the pressure then becomes, and the story then becomes, we are playing Fulham, which offers a complete different test. And to be fair, last year under Amorim, I think a lot of United's better performances did come against the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and the bigger teams, where the pressure's not so much on us and we're able to spring out and play on the counter, play on transition with our decent attacking players, and play with a little bit more freedom. The problem comes when you're playing against the likes of a Fulham, an Everton, a Brentford, where we're expected to win, dominate the game, and it's whether we actually have enough now to perform the same with a different test. And that's what makes this game big as well.
It's funny that you said that, because my notes that I wrote, I've literally got my third bullet point is different test. That's my literal point, is different test. So I've got Arsenal pressed high initially, and that's why we got in behind. And then they low block towards the end. Fulham are literally the in-between of that, mid-block. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, I would also caveat that by saying we only saw Benjamin Sesko for half an hour. I think you see him from the start against Fulham.
Yes. I think sometimes when you play against mid-blocks, they're usually physical sides as well, because Aston Villa are similar, Everton are similar, where they basically, it's a little bit almost like a half press, but they almost just plug gaps and but they're not sat on the edge of the box, but they almost like sit in shape. That's basically what it is. And they kind of basically say, you got to play for us.
Well, what they're not going to do is they're going to let you have the ball at centre-half, and they're not going to steam after those centre-halves and leave a gap in behind them. So they're going to, what you'll see so much, I think, against Fulham is our centre-halves with the ball, probably passing it laterally, trying to see if there's an angle. And I hope that we're patient with that. And I hope that you almost invite Fulham onto you a little bit, so you can get the likes of Mbeumo in behind, or you can release Dorgu in behind. I think there's a big decision to be made about who plays right wing back.
Yes, because they'll rely on triggers, innit? Do you know what I mean? And it's just good. It's a completely different type of game. It's a completely different test, and it's against a decent side as well. But obviously, with the attacking reinforcements that we did have and we did add in terms of Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko, this game's going to tell us a lot. I think this game will tell us even more than Arsenal game told us about if we've improved or where we're at.
What we don't want to do is go and scrap a win. Yeah. What United could really do with is like a very confident swatting aside. Like, get in there, score early, play well, add another, keep playing well, add some subs, get another. Like, just a total dominant performance in all areas. We conceded from a corner. They scored from a corner. They didn't have great XG, got a result. We had great XG, didn't get a result. This is the game where you kind of need to go stick it right on them and come away with a result. Like, no controversy, no penalty, offside, VAR bullshit. Just go, beat them in every department and have people going, whoa, that was good. That's what we need.
That's exactly what we need. We need a convincing performance again, but we need the result more than anything, because obviously you do have a bit of a moral victory when you say we lost 1-0 to Arsenal, but we should have really won. But at the end of the day, you didn't, and you didn't get the 3 points. And it's a results game, but I think I'm actually really looking forward to the Fulham game, because I think it's a huge game in terms of telling us where we're at and we're up to when we get in a different test with a different type of match, and whether United can get over that kind of hill and that hump of basically beating teams and dominating teams that aren't better than them or expected to beat them.
Newcastle, Liverpool, El Isakio.
Do you know what? This is, all right, because you talk about the Newcastle-Liverpool game, it's got so many
it's always been a bit
plots
spicy
and storylines. It's a spicy game anyway.
It was a 4-3-tastic.
Yes, it was. And what you've got now is Newcastle and Liverpool have been basically gone back and forth all summer window over Isak, and then you've also had Liverpool kind of food chaining it and saying, all right, you're not giving us Isak, we're going to go and sign your number one target in a Ekitike.
And still being linked with him.
Yes,
as well.
Yeah.
Still being linked with Isak as well.
So they rub salt in the wounds that way. And then you've also got the whole Florian Wirtz played his first game in the Premier League, where he's played against a Bournemouth physical side and got the whole welcome to the Premier League treatment, different intensity, different physicality.
1,000,000% that's Newcastle's MO.
And then you're, after struggling physically against Bournemouth, your next game being away Monday night, St James's Park, against Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali in the middle.
You get booted.
I think that's how Wirtz plays. I think some people are saying that they probably wouldn't even play him in the middle against them, or maybe start.
You have 100 and whatever he cost £1 million signing. If any other team dropped their 100 million whatever signing after the one game and didn't, that guy has to play every week. Otherwise, they're going to get hammered. Now, I don't know about you, but when I saw their lineup last week, I did get giddy, and I was like, oh, they're going to drop points here. Potentially, they didn't,
Liverpool.
Obviously. Yeah, last week.
What made you think that?
You've got attacking right and left backs. The whole midfield was fully attacking. It was absolute all-out attack.
But I thought you don't rate Bournemouth.
Yeah, I don't. And I was right. However...
How? They're a good team.
Oh, either way. However... Liverpool, did look vulnerable. They did look vulnerable. Now, I think I don't know if he will go. I don't know enough about Slot, to be honest with you. I don't know if he'll go for it. Maybe he's feeling himself. Maybe he's feeling the gold badge on his arms. Maybe he's feeling all his nice shiny signings. Maybe he's thinking, we've took the piss out of Newcastle all summer. We'll go there and we'll take the piss out of them again this weekend.
Frimpong's injured, though.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he got injured off first game, so he's out until... international break already, so they probably will have to draft in. I don't know if Conor Bradley's injured. Is he injured, Deck? You might know. Or
he is. So who's right back for you then?
Joe Gomez?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Joe Gomez. That's
a little bit more defensive then.
Yeah. The thing is, Joe Gomez is a weird one, because I think he's Liverpool's current longest serving player.
Wow.
It's mad. He's done the whole floating on the radar, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw kind of vibes. Always staying, always injured.
Where is Lindelof?
I'm not sure. Where did Lindelof go? I have no idea. Normally, I'm not sure he went, actually.
So we are taking comments, but we're trying to keep this a little bit different to the regular XG, so we don't have access to the comments at the moment.
Yeah.
Deck's going to pull out half a dozen or so comments for us to address in 10 minutes or so.
The only issue is Deck doesn't speak, so he's going to have to put it on the... I have to put it on the screen.
So we'll come to the comments a little bit later on, but we're just, we wanted to sort of try and keep this one a little bit more on topic rather than the regular XG files, which is chaos, and just go through these topics. So yeah,
what do you predict though in terms of Newcastle? How do you think it's going to go?
High scoring game, 3-2, 2-1. which I know 2-1's not that high scoring, but I think there'll be both teams to score in this.
Because in Newcastle's first game, they played against Villa, which is another good side, and they dominated the game. But funny enough, they couldn't score because they didn't have a goal scorer.
Yeah, because he's on the naughty step. Innit?
So
can he reconcile it with Newcastle faithful? No. Nah, it's over, innit?
You know, all right, so I don't want to be too conspiracy theorist, innit? Just before I do, it's not really, but all right. So PIF, I think it's the Saudi organisation that basically own Newcastle. Do you think, obviously as a manager, you're a manager yourself, I think Eddie Howe blatantly probably wants to sell him at this point, doesn't he? In terms of team harmony, morale. I think the way managers are, and Isak basically being open about leaving in the way he's basically went on strike, I don't think any gaffer wants that player coming back. And I think it's a kind of above Eddie Howe in terms of him staying. And I wonder if it's a bit of the whole, you know, like how sometimes the UAE and Saudi can care so much about media and optics and how they look in terms of their power and not being bullied. Their aspirations for where they want to take Newcastle.
But also, you know, they've allegedly been hurt by PSR. You've been hurt because you're a shithole and no one wants to play for you. You was bidding for players. The players just didn't want to come to you. Cope with that, right? Your star signing didn't want to be there. Now, whether there was by the sounds of what I've read, Stavely or whoever had a verbal conversation with Isak and said, "Yeah, you can go if someone hits our valuation." Paul Mitchell got there and went, "No." So he's trying to hold on to some agreement with someone who's no longer there or isn't in the position of power that they once were or whatever. You can understand both sides of the argument there, I think. The player got told he was going. Doesn't matter who told him. He was told he can go. Now someone else has come in and said, "You can't go." Well, I don't care. I want to go. I had the agreement. I want to get off. I don't think you can reconcile this. I think it's gone so far, been so public, and he's took the piss so badly. I don't think it's been quite as bad as Jadon Sancho taking a piss, to be honest with you, but I just don't see a way that he can perform, and it undermines the manager, it undermines the team. But on the flip side of that, just trying to play devil's advocate, there is a £100 million asset which loses money very, very, and a lot of money very, very fast if he's just rotting in the resis. Like, that can't be allowed to happen.
And apparently the team's divided on it as well, which obviously there'll be some teammates that will be pissed off with him.
And there'll be some that don't give a shit.
And there'll be some that don't care.
Nice.
And some that will back him, saying, "Oh, if he wants to go, big moved in a kind of players' union."
The ironic thing on this is that Scouse lot spent all summer crying about Trent running his contract down and how dare he and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, they're causing this absolute shit show at Newcastle by publicly trying to sign Isak at the same time. Like, mad hypocrisy.
So you're expecting objectivity from football fans?
No, especially Liverpool
You're asking
fans.
a lot there. I'm not going to lie to you.
But still, do you know what I mean? Like, the outcry from Liverpool fans was so over the top about Trent. So over the top.
I think it was because they were saying because of basically him going for free. I think that was the biggest thing for them. I think if they got like 70 mil for Trent, they wouldn't be as bothered. I think it was the whole thing of him running his contract down and leaving for free, rather than Isak and Newcastle will actually get 100 mil in the kitty. But it depends what Newcastle would even do with that if they flip it anyway. Because Newcastle in the Champions League, they're obviously trying to they qualified for the Champions League a couple of seasons ago.
They're trying to sign anyone.
No one
wants to go.
It's just, how do you change that though? I think how will that change?
It does change eventually. You've just got to be consistently being in there. Manchester City was signing Joe and Alano, and Alano might have been there beforehand actually, but they were signing all sorts of absolute turbo nuggets.
But they're in Manchester.
Early doors.
Bit of a city.
And again, that ultimately changed for them because of the success that they got. But Newcastle, you can't win a League Cup and think, you can't qualify for the Champions League and be in the League Cup and suddenly think that you're a big deal.
Yes.
Because you're not.
Exactly. That's why for me, obviously it's a game that you're going to keep an eye on. Monday Night Football, it's going to be a great one, but I predicted Liverpool to finish third for a reason, to be honest with you. I feel like they're actually a lot weaker.
Well, anyway.
And I think they're going to have a fall off from their two big boys, innit? In terms of just age, 5 times undefeated, innit?
I hope so.
Yes.
I really hope so, because I can't be arsed with the absolute scouse wankathon. Final game that we're covering, then obviously there's more than games than that this weekend, but we're only covering the 3 most important ones for us. In fact, let's roll it back a little bit. Fulham United, what's your score prediction? We should do a score prediction, shouldn't we?
We should do a score prediction for each. That's right. I think for United Fulham, I think United do win, but I think it's going to be a tight one. I'm going for a 2-1 United win.
3-0, I'm saying.
3-0. I hope so. I definitely
3-0,
hope so.
and I think it's going to be comfortable.
What do you predict for Newcastle Liverpool then? For scoreline? I think
Newcastle are going to stick it right on them, but can't score. Whereas Scousers are so lethal up front.
I think Newcastle win.
2-2.
I think Newcastle win 3-2.
2-2. 2-2, but Newcastle should have been like home and hosed. Liverpool play right off the back foot, have an XG of like 0.1, and come away with 2 goals somehow, just because like something mental. 2-2.
Do you know what's okay, fair enough. And what's the final game that we're going to speak about? Before you interrupted yourself.
City and Tottenham.
City and Tottenham is an interesting one because Spurs are Man City's bogey team. You know that. The City's record against Spurs are horrible. And it actually should have been even worse, but...
Frank's also had a decent record with Brentford.
Yes, but Heung-min Son, obviously, with his famous miss in Arsenal folklore, because it's basically what lost Arsenal the title, when he missed that one-on-one with, I don't know if it was Ortega or Edison. But the whole thing about Spurs, anyway, going into this is... their window has been slightly underwhelming, and they've had a lot of bad luck with injuries in terms of they've lost James Maddison to ACL, and they got reports yesterday that Kulusevski is going to be out until January.
They also got absolutely gazumped
by Arsenal
on Eze
for the Eze replacement, and City won't sell them Savinho. So it's the whole Tottenham Levy situation where they've brought a new manager in who's a good manager in Thomas Frank, and it's going to be like, have they penny pinched too much, or have they
also losing Son?
Exactly. And that's just even from a cultural perspective in terms of he's a big presence in obviously the club, and a captain. And the reason why Spurs are relevant is because I believe, and many believe, United and Spurs are going to be probably jostling for placements in the league, in my opinion anyway, in how they end the season.
Nope. I don't think Frank has got the experience of managing a team in Europe and the league and being competitive in both at the same time. I don't think he's got the squad to do that, to be competitive in both at the same time. So he will either focus on the league or, and possibly be told, focus on the Champions League. I don't think you're going to be successful in both. I don't think they've got the squad to be successful in both. So I think they're finishing like 9th, 10th.
You think Frank's out by...
No, I don't think he gets sacked. I just don't think that they can compete in both. And I think United are probably a good few places above Tottenham by the end of the season.
But they don't finish 17th, do they?
No, and neither do we.
Exactly. So, but obviously, in terms of the game, what we're going to talk about, though...
Mate, City battered Wolves.
And
told you they were going down.
And they look really good, but Wolves look really bad, and they might lose San Larson. But
Listen,
I think they
told you they were going down.
They might lose their striker to Newcastle. But I think Wolves have already come out and said he's not for sale, Strand Larson. But anyway,
you have to say that.
They're not good enough anyway, I don't think, Wolves. But yes, it was, and there was one superstar that looked the dog's bollocks against Wolves for City, and that's the midfielder, Reinders, who many thought when the deal come out, which was around £50 million, which is a bit of a bargain for a player that has been notoriously spoken about the past 2 years at AC Milan. Has been one of the best dates in the world in his peak years, and he's gone to City, and he did well in pre-season, and he was their man of the match basically in week 1, and obviously Haaland bagging a brace as well.
You don't have to do anything, he just needs to do what he always does, be a weird fucking robot and score goals.
But then again, is Wolves game week 1 really indicative of how they're going to look? I think their first test is against Thomas Frank, who has a good record against him, with a Spurs side who's a good record against him.
They did sign Kudus. Yes. Who else did they sign?
I think they made Tell a permanent, and they signed a youngster centre-half called Vuskovic, I believe. But outside of that, they haven't really... Paulinho on loan for defensive midfield.
That's not a bad one, yeah.
But it's still... I feel like what Tottenham are good at is having a lot of decent players, but not enough really great ones. But
No, they got sold. What's your score prediction for this game?
I think
it's at City, right?
I
Yeah,
think
'cause
it's
we're away,
I
aren't
think
we? So-
I think it's going to be 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw because Thomas Frank, we know about his tactical versatility in it.
Yeah.
He'll play a back 5 one week, he'll play a back 4 one week, he'll switch it up, mix it up, but he keeps the principles the same. That's what makes him such a highly rated gaffer. But obviously managing Tottenham and managing Brentford's different, because for Brentford you'd have a week where he'd lose 4-0 and no one would say anything, but it's not like that when you're managing a big club.
I think City at home are just too good. I'm going to say 2-1 City.
2-1 City. I'm going to go 2-2. I think they have enough. I think for Richarlison resurgence maybe. Kudus is the match winner for Tottenham.
Yeah, I think he probably gets a bit of space on the counter and does some bits.
Yes, and he's called counter, yes.
And I think he does some bits for him. But City, I was trying to watch a little bit of City against Wolves this morning. I was in the gym, and I think Pep's doing some. I think he's going to try and change some stuff again. I think he's pressing, he's changing. I'm not seeing enough of it yet. It might just be Wolves. We'll see if I can get, because Wolves are shit.
That's what makes week 2 a good week. It makes it interesting because it's like, do you see the same things from week 1, or is it one off?
Yeah, let's see. Like the way you press against Wolves, can you press it like mad aggressively in areas that you sort of don't expect to press? One, is it players not understanding their tactical function? So you like be looking at something thinking it's an instruction, actually it's someone doing the wrong thing. You don't necessarily know. Is it they've gone just go get it because it's Wolves and they're shit? Like you don't know if they've just been given a bit more license to be braver because it's Wolves and you don't respect them. If you see the same thing at home to Tottenham, you go, okay, that is another tweak, another tactical innovation from the old ball fella. So we will see. Have we got some comments, please, Declan?
Yes. Finally, to end it, we'll see some comments in it.
Just slide it over just a little bit more because I can't quite see the corner of it. There we go. So from Dewey Dave, is this Lemens kid any good? Can't say I've seen him play, but stats are impressive. Stats are impressive on him.
I haven't seen much, but we'll go.
Yeah, we will do a full goalkeeper sort of debate tomorrow. Well, in about 5 minutes, but for tomorrow. Do you want to read the next one?
Do you think, Joe Kellett says, do you think we're focusing on a new goalkeeper now that Baleba is off? Midfield will have to stay as it is. I believe a new keeper, I think Lemens has been basically linked to Awesome window, and I think with Baleba being off, I think they've kind of thought, oh, we'll use some of the funds we would have used to sign Lemens anyway. But I think United going in for Baleba and inquiring the way we do showed that United do have quite a bit in the kitty still financially. I think they kind of showed that hand that they do have money. So there could be a possibility we get Lemens, and because he won't be that expensive, another midfielder might still be an option for me. I think we need it to be anyway.
Keith Mooney says, do you see the start of a plan to replace Bruno in the side, allowing a Saudi transfer to happen at the end of the season? I think the plan is for Kobe to replace him in the 8. I agree that if you just glance over the squad, Kobe replacing him as the 8 does make sense. However, there's no guarantees that Saudi offer, one, comes back next summer, certainly not for the same price, or two, is any more receptive to Bruno by the end of next season. Like,
maybe post-World Cup, because it's going to be post-World Cup.
Who knows? Honestly, like, it was a bit of a moment, wasn't it, where it was like, that's nonsense, that's real, that's nonsense, I think he's going to take it, or he's rejected it. Like, it was like, it changed so, it was changing by the hour that I think we even got one video out of it. I think that was all we managed to get, because it was happening and being confirmed, denied, rejected and accepted, and it all so fast that it had a full life cycle of like a month's worth of rumour in a day.
Fair enough. Ridwan in it. Is that right? It says Palace vs Forest will be absolute flames. Marinakis and Parish can't stand each other.
Did you sign Douglas Luiz, Forest?
Yes. But obviously Marinakis, the whole Forest Palace beef about Conference League and Europa League, and obviously Marinakis using any opportunity to go to court with anyone or to moan about something. And
he's a nightmare, isn't he? Can you imagine being in group chats with him?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm live as well, so I feel like when Marinakis comes up, I try and be careful about what I say, because I do get crime lord vibes off him. Allegedly.
Okay.
What do you
I'm
mean?
surprised there's not more.
What do you mean? Wait.
I'm surprised there's not more, like, especially with, like, you know, the way some of the ultras are.
Aren't
in
every
Italy and
billionaires
stuff like
are?
that. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, if I'm a billionaire, you better believe I've got an entire Black Ops department that's just disappearing dudes.
Are you brand new?
What?
Napoli.
Yeah.
The whole thing's about Napoli and Naples and how they're basically mafia
how many
controlled.
people actually get, like, dealt with? Doesn't seem like there's enough for what the reputation is. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're a criminal organisation, why would you do something like that in a sport that's watched by millions? It's
because that's how you, like, because they're off their nut. If you're a billionaire, that's off your nut.
Off the nut, but not stupid.
Yeah, like, aren't Juventus playing us today? Their team bus disappeared with 4 of their players.
Yeah,
and they all got released on the Monday.
Yeah, that's just how you. That's just be very silly, wouldn't it?
But that's what I would do.
They're not idiots, are they?
Yeah, but that's what I'd do. If I'm a billionaire, like, so United are playing Fulham this week. Guess what? Half of that team ain't getting on the bus.
And then what?
I'm kidnapping families, Ronnie. Like, do you know what I mean? But I ain't a billionaire, so don't worry about it. If I ever become a billionaire, worry about it.
Kidnapping, leave families out of it, man. Anyway,
that's how you make sure, like, the goalkeeper's like, oh no, it's gone in.
Robert Price 8940 says, I have Sesko for top goal scorer this season. Pin this comment. I hope so.
Hey, I'm here for it because it means that we're not 15th.
Yes. And scroll down a little bit, please. Declan.
Yeah, Souness expected 4 assists a game from Pogba because he was 89 million. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Souness says from Wirtz. Mr. Leverkusen Lallana.
that's funny. There is similar-ish. Obviously, probably Lallana's a little bit more two-footed, isn't he?
Notch says, I can see City being lethal in attack this year, if not great in defence. Reckon they'll batter Spurs despite Frank making them more solid. The thing is that, yeah, Thomas Frank is a guy that makes his teams very, very hard to beat. There's going to be more expectation on him at Spurs. Not massively so, but there will be more expectation be
from Brentford.
Yeah, to play a bit more expansive football. It'd be very interesting to see how he uses the likes of Kudus and people like that in the team.
The thing is, I feel like there's a misconception that he can't play football. He can, to be fair. I think he just didn't with Brentford because of where they were. Because everyone that watched the Championship said that Thomas Frank's Brentford in the Championship were a different side to the one in the Premier League.
No, I think he's a good effort. It'd be interesting to see what he does with Tottenham.
Yes, 100%. Anyway,
that's us. Cheers for tuning in. As always, make sure to subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on, did you watch the morning video that we did this morning? Tomorrow walk will be a bit different. It's 2 miles that I've done so far on the ones that you've seen. Tomorrow's a 10k, 6 mile. So come and join me on that in the morning. 5:30 comes around quick. But get your notifications on if you want to get on whatever news that is. I don't know what it's going to be in the morning. But we will be dropping this goalkeeper video, which we're about to shoot. We will be doing what else is tomorrow? Preview.
Yes.
And then obviously we've got the game on Sunday. So cheers as always for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. Ronnie's just released a channel. Any videos on it yet?
No, I've not. Do you know what it is? I've
only been here 5 years.
I haven't released a channel, but I've formulated the base for my YouTube channel. And all that's really needed now is for me to start uploading videos on it. Which, I don't know, that could be next week, 2 days, or knowing me, 2 months, who knows?
It's only took him 5 years to get the channel sorted, so yeah, don't anticipate any videos anytime soon, but you know, he's only been getting told to get it done for that long. But cheers, everyone, for tuning in.
Depends how much equipment I rob from the studio.
3 o'clock, new upload, be coming. Is that it for today, or is there one more after that, Deck?
No, I think that's it.
Oh yeah, so 3 o'clock. There'll be a video coming out about Sunderland, so stay tuned for that. And there's a goalkeeper debate coming out tomorrow after the news. See you in a bizzle. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it,
then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.